There we go. All right, so here at NHA, we are fully invested in the success of you and your candidates. We take pride in doing what is right, and we're not afraid to use our voice if it moves the industry forward. We're here to help ensure that all of your learners, no matter their background or their needs, feels confident and empowered to complete their required learning or earn their accredited certification. So again, today's session is being recorded. And like I said, we will send out the recording to anyone who registered for today, along with any additional resources as soon as we can. And we'll also post it on our website in the resources section. For those of you who can stick around till the end, there will be a brief survey for you to complete. And anyone who does will be put into a raffle to win a $50 gift card. So please stick around and fill that out. And in addition, there will be an optional information form for you to complete. If you do so by October 15th, you'll be put into a raffle for a $500 gift card. So stick around. Okay, so we host these webinars regularly. So take a look on your homepage and choose to subscribe for notifications on future sessions. Also access our webinars and schedule from the resources page at our website in either the resource center or through upcoming events. So during today's session, we are going to review NHA and the resources we provide. We'll walk through your access to the NHA website and how you can be fully enabled to run your program from there. And we'll even do a live walkthrough before getting to Q&A at the end. So remember to stick around with us through the end so you can be entered into that raffle. So let's do a brief introduction to NHA. But before we do that, before we talk about us, I'd like to take a moment to get to know you and kind of understand who is on the call today. So we'll see the poll there. Please answer what most closely ties to your role with your institution. And if you have to select other, maybe just put it in the chat box what it is. Okay. All right. I'll give a few more seconds here. All right. So we've got a variety of folks on the call here. Couple proctors, but most of you on the call are classroom educators working directly with learners. Perfect. Thank you for that. All right. So now that we've seen a little bit about you, you should know that NHA is the largest frontline healthcare worker certification organization in the industry. Okay. We've got over 1 million certified candidates. We're leading the industry, and we use the resources and information from our experiences and learning partners to create learning materials that widen their skills and abilities within the health field and have shown to help candidates have a higher potential to earn their nationally accredited certification as well. Those resources come in many formats, starting with our nationally accredited certifications in 2 sections. 5 of the 8 certifications fall within the practitioner side of frontline healthcare, including medical assistant, phlebotomist, pharmacy technician, EKG, and patient care technician. There are also 3 certifications in an administrative capacity, which include billing and coding, medical administrative assistant, and e-health records. In addition, NHA develops comprehensive learning tools around key learning objectives for the healthcare professions we serve. Those resources range from didactic learning in medical terminology or anatomy and physiology to the development of essential soft skills as well as clinical skills for medical assistants and pharmacy technicians. These can be used across the entire learner's journey and can be packaged together to provide a comprehensive experience from start to finish. So now that you've seen a little bit about NHA, let's talk about our resources a little more in depth. So you should have already received a confirmation email from nhanow.com with a prompt to set up your administrative login. If you haven't seen this, make sure you check in your spam box or junk mail folder. But this email will walk you through the first steps to set up your administrative login, okay? You can access all of that through our website at nhanow.com. Once you've logged in, you'll have access to almost everything you could need to manage your learners and account from the home screen. This is your dashboard, and it's broken into two main categories, okay? The center of the screen will provide you quick access to NHA's supplemental resources. The first link under Get Started will take you to test plans for all of NHA's 8 nationally accredited exams. They're all available for you to download from this link. This is an important area for you to know what NHA's exams will cover and to provide information to your candidates. We know this is important for you both. I wanted to call out some information around a study NHA completed recently from over 6,000 candidates across the country to try and uncover what the common themes are for what the biggest hurdles were for them to take their NHA exam. So I'm going to launch another poll here. So from those options listed, what do you think was the most common issue reported? Give you a couple more seconds. Looks like most of you have. Okay, yeah, I mean, really, you guys got it right. The answer is anxiety or low confidence to pass. Most of you got that. You know, we know that this can be addressed through preparation. So this is one of the many reasons why it's important, why it's a best practice really to get your candidates into their NHA accounts as soon as possible. And we send them welcome emails and information on preparing for their exams. So from that survey, then here are just, you know, some of the hundreds of comments that focused on uncertainty, not just around general testing anxiety, but not knowing if they're prepared, you know, have they learned all the things they need, and worry about making it through the timed exam. That's pressure as well, you know. So providing the exam test plans and NHA's resources or learning tools have shown to make a positive impact. So this Get Started area will rotate resources throughout the calendar year, and it provides you access to quick links around the first steps and frequently asked questions, as well as resources on testing or implementing NHA's materials. Scrolling down on your page there will show you some of the most used how-to resources that will walk you through the administrative steps you'll need to manage your NHA account, okay? So even right here where the arrow is, it'll take you to the library of all of the helpful walkthroughs, how-to PDFs, and videos. Okay, that's a very important part right there. Here, so this is where you can find all of the important documents, implementation guides, and scrolling down will take you to video tutorials. And that link, let me go back. This link here will take you to some additional tools that we have around implementation. So all of the study material supplemental resources can be found here. Selecting the certification type you want, then you'll be taken to any of the additional documents to assist. And all of those start with the implementation guide. These guides are available to you and will outline the content, implementation suggestions, and even the average time it should take for a candidate to navigate through the study materials. You can see here a snapshot across just 4 of our 8 certifications, the time it can take an average candidate to work through just the study guide tutorial portion, which can really range widely. These guides are available for all of NHA's learning tools. Library of Resources has additional tools for you as well. Scrolling down that page will take you to video guides and PDFs to help you with the mechanics of the website, including setting up the learning content, providing access to candidates, opening exam dates, viewing reporting, and monitoring applications and results. Further down the page will also take you to the candidate-facing resources tagged on their accounts for you to help prompt them to use their materials and accounts to their fullest potential. So you see what they see as well. NHA exam online study materials are based on the NHA test plan for that certification. And they include an interactive study guide, as well as a series of practice tests that are designed to look and feel just like the exam. Okay, so this package also provides the NHA focused review, which is a personalized study feature to help candidates as they navigate through their practice tests. These should be assigned digitally to each candidate so they can move through the materials on their own, as well as provide adequate reporting for both group and individual learner growth. That focused review is a secondary tool, if you will, it's separate from the study guide, okay? It's specific to each practice test attempt, and it helps candidates focus further on those specific areas that they still may be struggling in. Those learning tools that I mentioned are available for preparing for any of the NHA exams, but let's review the other learning materials available from NHA. So starting with core learning, NHA has learning content focused on either anatomy and physiology or medical terminology. These address just the right amount of content for learners in entry-level roles through interactive and engaging online materials. NHA has a full pharmacy technician suite of materials that start with inherent learning on becoming a pharmacy technician through Pharmaceer. This is designed to meet the ASHP didactic standards for learning in this critical role. We also have primary learning tools on medical math, dosage and calculations in the Pharmaceer Math tool. There are skills developers for your medical assistants as well, which include the MA Skills Builder Clinical. This provides an interactive learning experience across 12 engaging modules to help develop and execute 39 clinical competencies employers are needing in an entry-level medical assistant. So the top 39 skills. Coming soon is also a medical administrative skills developer. So we know the clinical skills are essential, but administrative duties are a large part of the MA's role. So this tool is also applicable for your office administrative staff. The MA Skills Builder Admin uses an experience-based training tool to focus on key skills and competencies so learners master the technical and job-ready knowledge to handle front and back office administrative responsibilities. Okay. So additional skills developers or career laddering options include providing upskilling in professionalism, starting with personability. This is available in both the clinic or the pharmacy setting and uses online simulations and role play to develop abilities in teamwork, emotional intelligence, and communication. You can ladder further by leveraging principles of health coaching, another immersive tool with realistic scenarios to continue the learning in communication, but also in population health management and motivational interviewing. So if you are in a patient-centered care environment, any member of your care team could deepen their understanding of what it means to work in this quality versus quantity environment by using team-based care as well. So for all of NHA's core learning resources, we also provide implementation toolkits that can include downloadable and editable PowerPoint presentations aligned to the core learning, optional lesson plans outlining the core content and suggestions for implementation, optional additional testing banks and resources to implement, additional activities to help, scrub and polish the learning. We've also got walkthrough videos unique to the product content and mapping resources to accreditations, textbooks, and test plans. So tons of resources for you there. We actually have mapping resources for our exam prep as well. Those are found in that how-to guide space near the implementation guides, and those are called alignment guides. Okay, so alignment guides are unique to the certification type. They include an outline of the full test plan, identifying how many scored questions there will be on the exam in each domain. This will also map out where in the NHA study guide that content is covered, and if there are any additional resources within the learning to help with the process. So this might include videos and games even. It's really a wonderful tool, and it's used to align to your students' learning as well as review your program content to ensure there aren't any large gaps in between the learning materials. Also on here is a couple open columns as well, so you can plug in where your book, your week, or your program, wherever you're covering the core content. So NHA has full program maps that you could use to implement any or all of these products and help with the learner journey from start to finish. Here's an example of it for medical assistants. Okay, so that was a lot of information. I just wanted to take a quick moment, their poll here, to see if you'd like any additional training, like any of the topics that you see on the screen here in this poll. Select whatever you would be interested in attending. This helps us to grow and accommodate you. Again, if you select other, just go to the Q&A and put what it is. That would be really great. Okay, I'll give you a couple more seconds here. Looks like there still are a few of you that, okay. Perfect. Thank you so much. Right. So also in the survey link at the end of today's session, you'll be sure to note what you've selected so that we can have someone follow up with you right away. Okay, so let's get into a live demonstration here. So of all those things I just mentioned, now I'm going to click through them and put it in action. So here is the login screen. Just got my demo account brought up here. Here on the right, the center section are those resources I talked about. These orange bars, the information here changes periodically. And I wish that we had like a gold star around this box right here, but this is that link to all of those helpful how-to resources where you can also access the implementation guides and alignment guides. Here on the left in the dashboard, I'll start by showing you this help center. And that's really important. There's obviously lots of helpful information here, password reset, We never can remember our passwords. General FAQs, but then also this forms section. So this is where any sort of form can be found. The biggest one here that I like to point out is the accommodations form. So if you have learners who might require a special accommodation for their national certification exam, here's where you can find that downloadable form. It's important that they get that submitted on the early side. We do ask for it to be submitted at least 30 days before they sit for their national exam. Oops, shoot. All right, it logged me out. So I'm going to just pause for a moment, stop sharing, and get logged back in. Laura or my team, are there any questions? Maybe we'll just kind of jump to that for a minute. Have there been any good questions in the chat box?
Not so far that I can see.
All right,
you're doing a great job though. Yep, covering all the pieces. But please feel free in that Q&A box, everybody, to go ahead and post questions as they come. We do want to make sure that you get those answered right away.
Thank you. All right, we're back. That's what happens when you prep for this early, right? Okay, so here on the left of the screen is where I was at, the dashboard. So I showed you the help center. And then in this prep materials section is where you can find inventory, any of your current inventory for those exam prep materials, or any additional training program resources can be listed here. All right, so it's important to check here before you place an order or before you get your students access to the information, just to make sure you've got enough for them and are using what you have. You guys, the courses tab here is where I want to go next. And honestly, this is where you and especially your students will spend the majority of time. This is where the prep materials live, if you will. And a course has to be created that students then enroll in to access their material. So I don't need to dig too deep into all of this because we do have other presentations and webinars that dive deep into this, but you create a new course from this screen, and you can also enroll students from here. This is also where you can open a course up to see the materials yourself. Let's also look at, depending on what your role is, you might need to add exam dates and kind of manage that. So this is where you do that as well. This tab here, Request New Exam, allows you to put the exam date in the system so that your learners will have something to apply for. It's important to note, though, or remind you that for the pharmacy technician students, the EXCPT, they are required to test through a third party. So they wouldn't be following, you wouldn't have to put an exam date in the system. But for everybody else, this is how you do it. You put the exam date. The application deadline is also required. It's just that, it's when you want your learners to apply for the exam by, and it actually has to be at least 8 days prior to the exam date. So our recommendation is just to get that in as soon as possible. We obviously ask for the number of computers so we don't overbook. You select the exam type and click Request Exam Date. And from the moment you click this Request Exam Date up until that application deadline date, your students can apply for their exam, okay? You have the ability to kind of track and monitor who has applied through this View Exam Applications tab. These two boxes is for third party, so anyone testing through a third party or any farm testers, their information will be here, or first party or on site. They'll go through, show their name, their exam date, and their status, whether it's paid or pending still. After the exam, you can view their results immediately if testing on site. A passing score here is 390 points out of a possible 500 points. It will list their scores here in the individual results box. If they don't pass the national exam on their first attempt, they can take it again. They just have to wait 30 days between attempts, and they do have to pay for it again. But if they don't pass on their second attempt, they can take it again a third time, again, waiting that 30 days between attempts and paying for it again. If they don't pass on their third attempt, they do have to wait a full 12 months before they can test one more time. Let's switch back over here. And continue on. So over, as you can see here, this orange box, I kind of reviewed some of those features from the website, the inventory, there are also reporting. You can also, like I showed you, monitor your exam applications. Depending on your role, you might add or remove additional administrative users, right? Your staff and your team. And then you can view upcoming exams and all through the upcoming rosters. So in fact, actually right from here, I didn't point this out, but right from here is where you can get your learners started with creating their personal logins. You can invite them to set up their logins, before providing any learning resources through the account invitation feature right here on your home screen, helping to ensure that all is ready to go when it comes time to start their studying. So we do recommend you do that towards the beginning of your program. We've seen that statistically, those who do get started in their account earlier than later are more likely to take their certification exam and earn their certification. So we did the live walkthrough. One of the biggest things that we haven't covered today yet is reporting on reporting resources. So we'll be holding additional webinars on this. So, focusing on these specifically, but for now, you'll know that the moment a candidate accesses their study materials, no matter the learning content, reports will begin to load. These include filterable tools, downloadable PDFs, and deep analytics to provide you clarity in your learner's process. NHA's Learning Insights Center has reports that highlight, among other things, progresses through the modules, performance in assessments, and overall time spent in study. So again, today's webinar is not about that content specifically, but we do hold others that deep dive into that. So please keep an eye out for those. Okay, so before we get to Q&A, I wanted to reiterate that this has been recording. Anyone who registered for this session will receive the recording from today's webinar. If we can't or haven't addressed your question in the Q&A, by the end of our session, we'll be capturing all those questions and we'll work hard to get in touch with you directly for assistance. Okay. So if one of my team could post a link in the chat box now for that survey I mentioned, anyone who does this before October 15th will be put into a raffle to win a $500 gift card. Okay. As a reminder, NHA wants you to be able to address your questions when they happen. So we've already reviewed the how-to space, but please know that these self-guided resources are your first line of defense for both you and your students on what to do and the mechanics of how our resources and website work. There's tons of great stuff in here to use throughout the program, including a best practices video to share with your students when using their prep materials. Okay. If the answer you need still isn't found there, then please use our client care team. They are the live chat and help center phone line and are available extended hours, but not 24 hours. So this means that you and your students don't have to wait until your NHA contact is free to answer any questions that are urgent. Okay, so please use this. These group of people are incredible and they're all located here in the US. They'll respond as quickly as they can and The typical wait time is around 30 seconds to connect, so pretty quick. In addition, you have your NHA client executive. If you don't know who your personal contact is, please post in the Q&A so we can get you their contact information. They are here to help with all other tools and resources and to ensure you have everything you need to be successful and empower your learners to earn their certifications. If you or your institution would like any additional training, either as a group or individually, your client executive can connect you with the client experience team, which is my team, to get something scheduled for you. Before we move on to questions, I just wanted to take a moment to make sure you all know how thankful we are for you. I want to personally thank you for all that I know you're doing and for being here with me today. You work incredibly hard, not to mention right now with all that's going on. We all know that you are truly heroes. So every day, putting yourselves out there and working crazy hours. So thank you so much from all of us at NHA. Okay, let's open it up. I saw that there were things coming in on chat and Q&A, but anyone on the line, my team, anything?
Yeah, so there were some questions on being contacted by your institution's account representative. Honestly, the fastest way to get that done is to fill out that form, that link that we posted for, which also puts you in the running for the $500 gift card. So a win-win for you. Your contact will be sent an immediate request to follow up with you. So you'll be getting that through that form. So go ahead and even open it up now, fill it out, and you'll be contacted probably within the next business day. The other question we had, Hannah, was specific to when is reporting, does it become available for course content? Do you want to talk at all?
Sure.
We've got some time, a little bit about reporting.
Yeah, sure. So the reporting, first becomes available to you once your students start accessing their material, right? So, I mean, honestly, from the first time they click into it, we start recording what they're doing, when they're doing it, and how well they're doing it, essentially. So yeah, you would have to make sure your students have access to the material, but it starts from the first time they click into it. Do you think that answers the question, Laura?
Yeah. Also, we do have other webinars that we host. Do you want to show where they can register for upcoming webinars? Because I know we're going to do a reporting webinar in early October. So do you want to show them how they can go see our upcoming calendar?
Yes, I am not logged in anymore.
Well, I've got the website open if you'd like.
Okay, I'll let you switch over.
Okay, let's just get that open. So you can actually register directly from our main website. If you go out just to the nhanow.com, in our resources dropdown, there is an upcoming events area here. This would be where you can register for upcoming live webinars and any of our on-demand or previously recorded sessions, which we do have a reporting one that we did this past spring, which you'd be able to access from our resource center. But our upcoming events is where we can see special webinars around certain content pieces. And then those sessions for you as educators or employers, you can register for here. And we also do have webinars that we host for learners throughout the year, which they can also register for. So selecting this will take you in to see the list of optional webinars that are out there. And you can see we're going to be posting the October dates here in the next week or so. So you can see, I know I was just looking at the calendar that there's going to be one coming up the first week of October. So keep an eye on that if you want to. Our on-demand webinars, you can also click up here and it'll take you into where our previously recorded sessions are. So as you scroll down, you'll see we have sessions here for students, and this is the one here for reporting. You can watch that on demand at any time. So hopefully that helps a little bit with some of those reporting questions.
Thank you.
Yeah, of course.
Anything else out there? Okay.
I think we're good. So
Yeah.
yeah, go ahead and
Yeah.
wrap it up. Yeah.
Thanks, everyone. So yeah, as a reminder, this has been recorded. We'll stick around for a few minutes after the call. If you have any lingering questions or thoughts, feel free to post in the chat or the Q&A. I'm going to go ahead and stop recording.